Okay, so welcome to another deep dive today. And today we are talking about uh, those movies that, well, they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The billion-dollar blockbusters.
Yeah. You know the ones.
And I've got this list, and honestly, it's a really interesting mix. We've got some old movies, some new movies, some superhero movies. I mean,
Yeah.
really, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And we've also got some comments from some fans sprinkled throughout here. So,
Oh, cool.
we can get a feel for what the people thought about these two.
That's always good.
So are you ready to jump in?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Okay. Well, let's see. The first three on the list,
Yeah.
and I don't know about you, but these are some of my favorites. And we've got The Dark Knight,
Okay.
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King,
Oh, yeah.
and Jurassic Park.
Right.
I'm talking about some big movies from different times in history.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, those three films really represent like three different eras of filmmaking.
They really do. I mean, like, you think about Jurassic Park and you're like, wow, those dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, blew people away when that movie came out.
They looked so real.
And then Lord of the Rings took, like, fantasy to a whole other level.
Like, they were so immersive.
And then The Dark Knight, like, it wasn't just a superhero movie.
Yeah, it kind of like redefined the genre.
It really did.
Yeah.
I mean, it had so much depth and, like, psychological stuff going on.
Right. And speaking of The Lord of the Rings, I noticed someone in the comments here said they're really hoping for a Silmarillion adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
could you imagine?
That's a lot of story to put into a movie, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the Silmarillion is, like, it's dense.
It's like an encyclopedia of Middle-earth.
Like the Old Testament of Tolkien, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a movie's not the best format.
You know what I think? I think you're right. It might be better suited for like a TV series or something.
Yeah, like, give it, like, the Game of Thrones treatment.
Exactly. Because, I mean, some of these adaptations, they haven't always been that well received, right?
Okay.
Like, you got to take your time with these things.
So, we've talked about some fantasy. We've talked about some dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But we can't go any further without talking about the Marvel movies.
Oh, of course not.
Right. Because, I mean, they're all over this list.
You really are.
I mean, we've got
Right.
Marvel's The Avengers,
Right.
Avengers,
Yeah.
Infinity War,
Mm.
and even Avengers, Age of Ultron.
I know. And they really tapped into something with these interconnected universes, right?
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I think, superhero movies have always been around.
Yeah.
But Marvel, they were smart about it. They found a way to connect them all.
And it gets people invested.
Exactly.
You're like, okay, well, I need to watch this one because it's connected to this one and
Yeah.
that one.
And they always have like little hints and Easter eggs. And
You got to watch till the very end of the credits
Exactly.
to catch the next little bit.
It's really clever.
I think they also, like, do a good job of, like, focusing on the,
Use
like, the characters and, like, the relationships and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's not all about the action, They really explore these themes of like found family and like belonging.
It's true.
And I think that's what really resonates with people,
Yeah.
especially like younger audiences.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but
Mm.
it's true. Okay, so we've got dinosaurs, we've got superheroes,
You've got fantasy.
and I can't forget about the Disney movies.
Oh, yes. The
What?
power of Disney.
Like Frozen and Frozen 2. They're both billion-dollar blockbusters.
No, Frozen was such a phenomenon.
It's huge.
I mean, the music, the animation, the themes of sisterhood,
Yeah,
it really resonated with like everyone.
it really did.
I mean, and don't even get me started on the merchandise.
Oh my gosh.
It couldn't escape it.
Everywhere you went, it was Frozen.
It was everywhere.
And Let It Go. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the song, but I heard it so many times.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Speaking of movies that had a big impact,
Yeah.
I mean, mentioned The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, yeah.
That was the end.
End of the trilogy, right?
Yeah.
It was the epic conclusion.
And Christopher Nolan, like, he really changed superhero movies.
Absolutely.
Like, they were dark and complex.
Yeah.
Like, we'd never seen that before.
And you can't forget about Christian Bale as Batman.
Oh, yeah.
He was fantastic. He really brought like a vulnerability to the character
I did.
that I think was really compelling.
Yeah. And so, in addition to all these, we've got some other classics on here, too. Like Star Wars,
Of
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2,
Yeah.
and even Gone with the Wind.
Which, adjusted for inflation, is one of the highest grossing films of all time.
It's crazy.
I mean,
These movies, they're all so different.
They really are.
but they all tell amazing stories.
Exactly.
Like Star Wars is basically like its own mythology now.
It is. It's completely embedded in our culture.
And Harry Potter, like, got a whole generation reading, loving fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Gone with the Wind. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a classic for a reason.
I know. It's a historical epic. And
Yeah.
despite, some of the problematic elements, people still love it.
So, before we wrap things up here,
Yeah.
we also have a list of, like, potential future contenders
Oh,
to
yeah.
join the $1 billion club.
Yeah.
And one that caught my eye was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, really?
What do you think about that?
I think they have a real shot.
Yeah.
I mean, both characters have, huge fan bases.
Oh, they do.
And superhero movies are. I mean, they're still doing really well at the box office.
I mean, they're not slowing down anytime soon.
Not at all.
So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
It'll be interesting to see what direction they take with those characters.
Yeah. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone through a lot of movies here today from all different genres
Yeah.
and time periods. But I think the one thing
Yeah.
that we can all agree on is that these movies, they're all really entertaining.
They are. And that, they show how much cinema has changed over the years,
Yeah.
but also how powerful storytelling can be. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but some of these movies, they've really had an impact on me.
Me too. I mean,
Yeah.
movies can take us to other worlds, make us laugh, make us cry,
Yeah.
and sometimes even make us think.
That being said, and now I'm talking to you, the listener, what movie that's not on this list do you think deserves to be the $1 billion club? Let us know in the comments. What movie had that big an impact on you?
All right, until next time.